Purple dawn. The twin suns of Caleria cast long shadows across the crystalline desert as Aya moved silently through the glittering dunes. Her purple skin absorbed the amber light, making her nearly invisible against the twilight sky. She had tracked the strange object that fell from the stars since dawn, curious about what alien technology had breached their atmosphere. Another visitor, she whispered to herself, her voice carrying on the thin air. The Nilari had encountered off-worlders before, but rarely did they survive the harsh environment of her homeworld. Most species lacked the biological adaptations necessary for Caleria's unique atmospheric composition. When she crested the final ridge, Aya froze. The spacecraft lay broken, its hull torn open like a wound against the planet's surface. But what truly caught her attention was the figure moving methodically around the wreckage. A human. Aya had heard stories of humans from the Galactic Council meetings. Soft-bodied creatures from a gentle world called Earth. They were considered physically inferior by most spacefaring races. This one appeared male with dark hair and skin bronzed by suns not unlike their own. He moved with purpose, gathering materials from both his ship and the surrounding terrain. What is he building? She wondered aloud. The human had already assembled a framework using metal from the ship and local stone. His hands worked quickly, precisely, as though following a blueprint visible only to him. Curiosity overcame caution. Aya approached, making no attempt to disguise her presence. The human looked up, startled, then quickly composed himself. "Hello," he said, his voice steady despite the obvious surprise. "I'm Dr. Chen, xenobiologist from Earth Research Division." Aya tilted her head, studying him. "You build shelter," she stated simply. "But the toxicity levels will kill you before nightfall." Dr. Chen smiled, gesturing to a small device on his wrist. "My atmospheric converter should keep me alive, at least for a while. Long enough to complete this shelter with proper filtration. Your ship cannot be repaired," Aya observed. "No," he agreed, continuing his work without pause, "which is why I need sustainable shelter. The emergency beacon is active, but rescue could take months." Aya circled the half-built structure, impressed despite herself. The design was efficient, using the natural rock formations for support while incorporating technology from the wreckage. "You have crashed in Nilari territory," she informed him. "I am Aya, scout of the 7th Crystal Clan." Dr. Chen paused, wiping sweat from his brow. "Will that be a problem?" "Our warriors do not look kindly upon outsiders," she said. "Especially those considered weaker species." He laughed softly, surprising her. "I get that a lot. But strength isn't always about physical power, is it?" Aya watched as he lifted a piece of metal that seemed too heavy for his frame, yet he managed it with careful leverage and determination. "Perhaps," she conceded, "but you will need to prove yourself to survive here." As the larger sun began to set, casting crimson light across the desert, Aya made a decision that would change both their lives. "I will return tomorrow," she said. "There are those who would challenge you on sight. Be prepared." Dr. Chen nodded, his eyes meeting hers with unexpected intensity. "I'll be here building," he said. "And I welcome the company. Aya of the 7th Crystal Clan." As she disappeared into the gathering darkness, Aya couldn't explain the strange fascination she felt toward this human. Something about his quiet confidence and resourcefulness sparked her interest in ways no warrior of her clan ever had. Collision of worlds. The next morning, Aya returned to find Dr. Chen's shelter had progressed significantly. A dome-like structure now stood where yesterday there had been only framework, its surface gleaming with embedded technology that hummed quietly against the desert wind. "You've been busy," she remarked, approaching as he worked on what appeared to be a water filtration system. Dr. Chen looked up, a genuine smile crossing his features. "Aya, I wasn't sure you'd return," he said, setting down his tools. "Yes, I worked through both moonrises. Your planet has fascinating geological properties that actually enhance the functionality of my equipment." Before Aya could respond, the distinctive sound of Nilari warstaff striking stone echoed across the crystalline desert. Her posture stiffened immediately. "They've come sooner than expected," she murmured. "Two warriors approach, Alex and Cooper. They are among our most formidable fighters." Dr. Chen wiped his hands on his torn uniform. "Friends of yours?" "Rivals," she corrected. "And they will not be pleased to find me conversing with an outsider." The warriors appeared over the ridge, their purple skin darker than Aya's, marked with ceremonial patterns that signified their rank. Both carried energy staffs that crackled with Caliria's native power source. Scout Aya called Alex, the taller of the two. You failed to report an incursion into our territory. Aya stepped forward, her stance careful. I was assessing the threat before reporting. Cooper laughed, the sound harsh in the thin air. Threat, this soft-skinned creature? His eyes narrowed as he examined the shelter. Though I must admit, it has survived longer than expected. Dr. Chen stepped forward, his demeanor calm. I come in peace and seek only temporary shelter until my people can retrieve me. Your people are not welcome here, Alex declared, twirling his staff with practiced precision. And this structure infringes on sacred ground. The human will face the challenge of stones, Cooper announced, addressing Aya. As is our tradition with trespassers, Dr. Chen glanced at Aya, who subtly nodded. What does this challenge entail? He asked. Alex smiled coldly. Simple. You must defeat both of us using only what the land provides. No technology, no weapons but what Caliria herself offers. And if I refuse, then your shelter burns and you with it, Cooper stated flatly. Dr. Chen studied the warriors, then the surrounding terrain. Aya watched his eyes carefully catalog the environment, the loose crystal formations, the unstable ridge above them, the peculiar magnetic properties of the stones beneath their feet. I accept your challenge, he said finally. The warriors led them to a shallow basin surrounded by towering crystal spires. As they took positions on opposite sides, Aya stood at the edge, concerned yet curious to see how the human would fare. Begin, she called out as tradition demanded. Alex lunged first, staff aimed at Dr. Chen's midsection. The human sidestepped with surprising agility, grabbing a handful of the magnetic sand as he moved. Cooper attacked from behind, but Chen dropped and rolled, flinging the sand at Alex's eyes. Clever, Aya thought. The sand contained particles that disrupted Nalari vision temporarily. As Alex staggered back, Dr. Chen sprinted toward one of the crystal spires, Cooper in close pursuit. What happened next astonished all three Nalari. Instead of fleeing, Chen struck the base of the spire with a precisely calculated blow, using a rock he'd scooped up during his roll. The crystal structure, which resonated at specific frequencies, began to vibrate intensely. He quickly moved to a second spire and repeated the action. What is he doing? Cooper called out, momentarily confused. Aya realized it first. The harmonic convergence. Move away! But her warning came too late. The resonating crystals created a frequency that shattered the smaller formations around them. As the warriors tried to regain their footing, Chen delivered a final strike to a third spire. The resulting cascade brought down both warriors in a shower of harmless crystal shards, pinning them without causing serious injury. When the dust settled, Dr. Chen stood unharmed, breathing hard but victorious. He had used the planet itself as his weapon, demonstrating an understanding of Calirian physics that should have been impossible for an outsider. How? Alex demanded, struggling under the crystal fragments. I'm a scientist, Dr. Chen replied simply. I observe, I learn, and I adapt. Aya approached him, genuine amazement in her amber eyes. You defeated two of our strongest warriors using knowledge you gained in less than a day on our world. For the first time, she truly looked at him, not as a fragile human but as someone of remarkable capability. Their eyes met and something shifted between them, like the magnetic sands beneath their feet finding new alignment. Perhaps, she said loud enough for the warriors to hear, there is more than one kind of strength in this universe. Understanding differences. After the challenge of stones, Aya helped Dr. Chen free Alex and Cooper from the crystal debris. The warriors departed with reluctant nods of respect, their pride wounded but honor intact. They won't forget this defeat, Aya said as they walked back toward the shelter. You've earned temporary acceptance but also their scrutiny. Dr. Chen nodded thoughtfully. I understand. Your culture values strength above all else. Not just physical power, she clarified, glancing at him with new appreciation. The ability to overcome challenges, to survive against odds. You demonstrated this today in a way few outsiders ever could. When they reached his shelter, Aya was surprised to find herself hesitating to leave. The human intrigued her in ways she couldn't easily dismiss. Your dwelling needs reinforcement before the acid rains come, she said finally, gesturing to the western sky where dark clouds were gathering. May I assist you? Surprise flickered across his face, followed by a warm smile that created an unexpected flutter in Aya's chest. "I'd welcome your help," he replied, "and your knowledge of Calirian weather patterns." They worked side by side as the day progressed, their initial awkwardness gradually giving way to comfortable rhythm. Dr. Chen explained Earth technologies while Aya shared insights about her world's natural resources. "These crystal formations conduct energy in ways our scientists have only theorized," he marveled, examining a shard Aya had brought. "On Earth, we struggle to create sustainable power sources, yet your people harness this naturally. Yet you build machines that travel between stars," she countered. "The Nilari remain bound to Caliria, though we understand its deepest secrets." As dusk approached, they sat outside the reinforced shelter, sharing a meal of local fruits Aya had gathered and protein rations from Chen's supplies. The first acid raindrops began to fall, hissing as they struck the protective field generated by the shelter. "Tell me about Earth," Aya said, watching how the rain created rainbow patterns in the shield. "It's beautiful," he began, his voice taking on a wistful quality that captured her attention. "Blue oceans covering most of its surface, diverse ecosystems from ice caps to deserts to forests teeming with life. And your people? Are they all scientists like you?" Dr. Chen laughed softly. "Hardly. We're as diverse as our ecosystems, artists, builders, dreamers, explorers. We've advanced technologically, but we still struggle with unity. Different nations, beliefs, priorities. Not unlike the Nilari clans," she admitted. "Though we share this world, ancient rivalries persist." The conversation flowed easily as night fell completely, the acid rain intensifying around them while they remained safe within the energy field. Dr. Chen described Earth's seasons, its animals, its history of both conflict and cooperation. "What brought you to our sector of space?" Aya asked eventually. "Your ship was research class, not exploratory." He grew quiet, his expression thoughtful. "I was studying interspecies communication patterns. Earth recently joined the Galactic Council, but we're still considered primitive by many standards, like the Nilari consider you," she acknowledged. "Exactly," he nodded. "I believe understanding begins with respect for differences, not just similarities. That's what my research aims to prove." Aya found herself studying his features in the dim light, the determination in his eyes, the intelligence behind his words, the gentle strength in his hands as he manipulated the shelter controls. "Your approach is unlike any human we've encountered before," she admitted. "Previous visitors sought to extract Caliria's resources or impose their technologies. And how did that work out for them?" he asked with a knowing smile. "Not well," she replied, returning his smile with one of her own. "The magnetic storms claimed some. Others faced challenges they couldn't overcome." As the night deepened, Dr. Chen showed her star charts from his damaged navigation system. Together they identified Earth's sun, a distant point in Caliria's night sky. "So far away," she murmured. "Do you miss it?" "Yes," he answered honestly, "but I found something unexpected here." Their eyes met across the soft glow of the display, and Aya felt a curious warmth spread through her body. For a moment neither spoke, the only sound the patter of rain against the energy shield. "What have you found, Dr. Chen?" she asked softly. "A connection I never anticipated," he replied, his voice equally quiet. "And please call me Kai." "Kai," she repeated, liking how the name felt. Something was changing between them, a bridge forming across the vast differences of their species. As the last rain clouds drifted eastward, revealing Caliria's triple moons, Aya made no move to return to her clan. Instead, she sat beside Kai, watching the stars and sharing stories of worlds that until now had remained separate universes. Storm and shelter. The warning came at dawn, a low vibration through the crystalline desert that Aya recognized immediately. "Magnastorm approaching," she said urgently, waking Kai, who had fallen asleep studying Nilari language patterns. "We must secure everything." Kai sprung into action without question, following Aya's instructions as they reinforced the shelter. The horizon darkened ominously, magnetic particles swirling into violent clouds. "Your technology won't survive unshielded," she warned, helping him disconnect crucial equipment. "And neither will you. The storm disrupts neural pathways in non-Nilari physiology." "How long will it last?" he asked, securing the last panel. 3 days at minimum," Aya replied. glancing toward her clan's territory with concern. I cannot return safely now. They sealed themselves inside the reinforced shelter as the storm's outer bands reached them. The structure shuddered but held firm. Outside, the world transformed into swirling chaos, brilliant energy discharges illuminating the darkness like artificial stars. Confined together in the small space, their awareness of each other intensified. Aya found herself noticing details she'd overlooked. The gentle intelligence in Kai's eyes, the careful precision of his movements, the respect with which he treated her world's dangers. "Your people evolved to withstand these storms?" he asked as they shared their dwindling rations. "We were shaped by them," she explained, unconsciously moving closer. "The magnetic properties altered our biology over generations. When the shelter's temperature regulation faltered during the storm's peak, they had no choice but to share warmth." Aya hesitated only briefly before settling beside him. "Your heart beats faster than ours," she observed, her head resting against his chest. "That might not be entirely due to human physiology," Kai replied with a gentle smile that made Aya's own hearts quicken in response. As the storm raged outside, something equally powerful developed within the shelter's walls. Their first kiss came naturally, curiously, a tender exploration of differences that somehow made the similarities more profound. "I never imagined," she whispered against his lips, "that I could feel this way about someone not of Kaliria." "Some connections transcend worlds," Kai responded, holding her as though she were the most precious discovery in his scientific career. The storm continued, but within their shelter they created a universe of their own, united stars. When they emerged after the storm, they found a delegation from Aya's clan waiting. Commander Rena stood at its head, her expression severe. "Scout Aya," she said formally, "you have violated our isolation protocols by assisting this outsider. I have honored our traditions by recognizing strength in unexpected forms," Aya countered, standing firmly beside Kai. "He has passed the challenge of stones and survived a magnastorm." "Impressive," conceded Rena, "but insufficient. The council demands his departure once his people arrive." "Which will be soon," interrupted Kai, checking his signal device. "My rescue ship enters your atmosphere within hours." Aya felt a cold shock at these words. Their time together was ending before it had truly begun. "Before I leave," Kai continued, addressing Commander Rena directly, "I wish to propose an exchange. Earth's scientific knowledge for access to study Kaliria's unique properties, with full respect for Nilari sovereignty." "Why should we consider this?" asked Rena. "Because isolation has limits," Aya interjected. "The stars connect us all, whether we acknowledge it or not." She took Kai's hand openly, causing murmurs among the delegation. "I have learned that strength exists in many forms. Kai's people offer knowledge that complements our own." "And what of this?" Rena gestured to their joined hands. "Such connection between different species is unprecedented. Yet here we stand," said Kai, "living proof that differences can become strengths when united." As the Earth vessel descended through golden clouds, Aya made her decision. "I request permission to serve as official liaison to Earth. I will represent Nilari interests while learning their sciences." Commander Rena studied them both, ancient wisdom in her eyes. Finally, she nodded. "The Council will approve this unprecedented arrangement. Your bond has demonstrated possibilities we had not considered." When Kai boarded his rescue ship, Aya stood beside him, their futures now intertwined across the vast distances of space. The shelter they had built together remained on Kaliria's surface, a monument to the discovery that sometimes strength comes not from domination, but from connection. "Two worlds," Kai whispered as they watched Kaliria recede beneath them. "One beginning." Aya smiled, her purple skin luminous in the starlight. "The strongest shelters," she replied, "are those built together." As Earth's scientific community welcomed its first Nilari visitor, and Aya experienced her first alien sunset, they knew their story would change both worlds forever.